What's going on, guys? Hunter here with Technical Gaming, and in this video I wanted to talk about some ideas that I think would be really cool to see in Rainbow Six Siege. And I want to go ahead and put a full disclaimer out there that I did hear a few of these ideas from one of the recent Matimio videos. So if you guys don't know who Matimio is, he's a really big, awesome YouTuber who makes some really cool videos. I really enjoy some of his videos, and it was on one of his most recent like Sunday mailbox videos or whatever he calls them, and it was an idea from one of his subscribers that left a comment, or at least some of them. Some of them actually are my original ideas, but some of them are also borrowed from that, and I wanted to just put this out there so you guys will know, and just so you guys don't think I'm copying him or, you know, stealing his ideas and stuff like that. I just want to completely put that out there, but other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So just to let you guys know, all of these ideas are going towards a more pro-consumer type of Rainbow Six Siege game. They're not really any gameplay changes per se or anything like that, but all of these ideas are pushing for a more consumer-friendly Rainbow Six Siege, which I think is fantastic. And you guys already know how I feel about the microtransaction and DLC system that they have placed in Rainbow Six Siege already. I think it's great. I think they've done a really good job with it, but there are some things that I think could use some tweaking and fixing, and none of these ideas are just stupid crazy, like all DLC should be free, every weapon skin you should get automatically for free, all characters and that kind of thing, because obviously they're a business, they're trying to make money, and I can understand that, so there's nothing stupid like that in there. But I think the way that Ubisoft has set up the microtransaction and DLC system in this game has really made it a much more successful game. As a lot of you probably already know, this game didn't do so great at launch, and it has really just been growing tremendously since then, after they've released great DLC, after they have really, you know, had a great business model. And if this game didn't have such a good business model already, I really doubt that it would still be as, you know, as thriving as a game as it actually is, and it probably wouldn't have the same kind of growth that it is seeing right now. So I just wanted to throw all of that in the beginning of this video just to let you guys know that I don't hate the system. You guys should already know that if you've seen a lot of my other videos that I've done on this game, but it really doesn't suck at all. Like, it's much better than most games out there, and I do appreciate that. But I do want them to continually kind of push for a good business model, and as we're into year 2 now, I think it is time for some adjustments to be made. And I understand that I'm a small YouTuber and Ubisoft won't even be watching this, but I do hope that at least we can get the ideas out there. Hopefully more people will recognize these and start talking about them, and hopefully it will kind of become big enough, you know, not this video necessarily, but just the ideas generally. Hopefully they'll become big enough to where Ubisoft actually does notice them and does implement them into the game. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the first idea that was on Matimio's video, and that is that operators should have a trial on them. And just to give you an example, let's say you want to get Mira, so you're either going to actually spend real money and get Rainbow Six credits, or you're going to be spending a ton of renown that you have grinded out to get. So obviously you're going to want to make a good choice, and maybe you're trying to choose between Mira and Jackal, and you don't want to make the wrong decision obviously, but you know, there's no way to actually tell because you can't play them yet. So I think it would be awesome to have like a 2-hour or 1-hour trial period with that operator, like actually in multiplayer games, just so you can try them out and kind of get a feel for them and see which one you want to spend your either hard-earned actual money on or hard-earned in-game currency on. So I think that's a fantastic idea. I was actually really surprised that no one's even ever like thought of this or mentioned it, at least not that I've heard, and I think that's a really fantastic idea, and I'd love to see this in the game. So the next really great idea that I also heard in Matimio's video was that older season operators should be discounted, both in Renown and Rainbow Six Siege credits. And this is just really all around an amazing idea. The example that Matimio gave was, imagine a new player just bought the game, he got into it, maybe he's younger, or maybe he just can't spend any actual money to buy the new DLC operators or to get the credits to buy them, so he's going to have to unlock every single one of them with renown. But the amount of renown it would take to do that would be 250,000 renown, which is just absolutely insane. I mean, you might as well just spend your entire summer playing this game and doing nothing else if you're going to try to do that, and it's just unreasonable, to be quite honest. And I think what needs to happen, and what he also mentioned in the video, was that they should lower the prices on the older season operators. So for example, well, what they could do is every time a new DLC is launched, they could lower the older operators 5,000 renown until it hits a certain point, of course, because they couldn't go, like to 0 renown or anything like that. So they could keep continually lowering it every time they release a new DLC, which would give people much more of an incentive to buy older operators. So say the new Velvet Shell DLC was just released, so the old Red Crow DLC with Habana and Echo would, instead of being like 25,000 renown, maybe they're 20,000 renown now until the next DLC comes out, and then they're going to be 15,000. And then, once it hits about maybe 10 to 15,000 renown, then they could probably cut it off, and then they could just stay at 10 or 15,000 renown. And not only would this make it a lot easier for newer players to unlock these operators, but it would also give people more of an incentive to buy these operators, because obviously when new operators come out, they're going to have a ton of hype around them. So, if you have the decision to pick between either the brand new Jackal or Mira who just came out, or the very old at this point Buck or Frost, most people are going to go with Jackal or Mira just because everybody's talking about them and they seem a lot cooler at this point. So there's really not going to be much reason to get the older ones, and for some people they just kind of might forget about them and never get them, and so those operators are just going to kind of get lost. And so I think there's a lot of really good reasons for them to do this, and I would love to see it happen in the game. And really, just about in every way I could see this helping out the game, and I don't see it hurting like Ubisoft's revenue from the DLC operators at all either, because people would have more incentive to actually buy Rainbow Six credits to get these operators for cheaper also, where before they would probably just be like, yeah, screw that, I'm not paying that much for such an old operator. So really it could also end up helping Ubisoft honestly in the long run. So I think this would be a great idea, and that is all the ideas that were in Matimio's video. There's also one more idea of my own that's just kind of a little side idea, and I wanted to mention it, so we'll go through that one as well very quickly. So the idea that I thought of, it does relate to the stuff that we've been talking about, and that is that you could buy operators in groups for cheaper. So say instead of purchasing Mira and Jackal for 25,000 each, which would be 50,000 renown, maybe you could buy them together and it would be 40,000. And this would be a good balance and trade-off, because obviously you would have to save up for longer, so you wouldn't be able to play with whichever one you wanted more. Like say you really wanted Jackal most, but you also want Mirror, but you wouldn't be able to immediately buy Jackal then when you hit 25,000. You would have to wait until they hit the full 40,000 renown in order to unlock them both at the same time. And honestly, I think this would just be nice to have another option like this. It wouldn't be game-changing or anything, but for the people who have the patience to wait a little bit longer and grind it out a little bit more, so they can get the 40,000 and in the long run be saving a little bit more time, I think it would be awesome. And honestly, just adding more choices like this I think is a fantastic way to do business. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the ideas in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys agree with most of these ideas. I mean, they're pretty much all very pro-consumer ideas for the game, so if you guys are fans of the game, I'm sure you would love these ideas. If you do, I mean, please share this video, please get it out there. Also leave likes on it, leave comments what you guys think down below, and even if you don't care to share the video or anything, just share these ideas around on forums or on the chat in game. I mean, wherever you feel like, just talk about them more, get them as well known as possible, and hopefully eventually we will start seeing some of these ideas pop up in Rainbow Six Siege. That would be absolutely awesome. And I think that's pretty much it for this video, so please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.